My name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, public urged to stay at home on census night. Tax evaders to be named and shamed. An NFP makes election promises.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Bureau of Statistics has clarified that the actual counting for census will not be done tomorrow night. Senior statistician Rupeni Tawake says the census night means that during the counting period, which begins from Monday, each person will be enumerated to wherever they would have slept on the 17th. Savara Tambo explains.
The Bureau of Statistics is advising people to stay at home tomorrow night. However, if for some reason you are not at home, you must remember where you spent your Sunday night. This is important to avoid double counting of a person or omitting a person from the count.
For census to take place, everybody has to be counted at the same time. It's really a snapshot or a stock take of the country's population. It cannot happen on that night because it's very expensive due to the number of people that it will need to employ and the number of resources that it will have to use up. That's why we have stretched it to 3 weeks, but we have a reference period which is September 17th, which means each person will be counted to wherever they would have slept on that night.
Rupeni Tawake says when the counting begins from Monday, the head of the household or a person who will be giving the details will be asked to provide the details of everyone that slept in the house on Sunday.
If we are having about 2 or 3 families sleeping in a household, it'll be a respondent burden on the person who is answering on behalf of the household, because he or she will have to know the details of everybody that would have slept in his or her home on the 17th of September. So it is most ideal that you please sleep at your own home on the 17th of September.
This is my first time I'm ready for census.
I'm ready, and this is the first time for me to have experience of what this census is about, and I'm looking forward for Monday.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
The department has divided the country into 3 divisions and there are over 1,900 enumeration areas. Each of these areas have around 80 to 120 households. Over 2,100 enumerators will be visiting these areas from Monday until October 8th. 3 teams have already left for the Lau and Lomaiviti group, while another team will be leaving for the north tomorrow. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Fiji Sugar Corporation's repayment of the loan from the Exim Bank of India has been extended until 2028. Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum yesterday moved a motion which was passed in Parliament for the extension of the government guarantee period for the respective loan from 19 September 2019 to the end of 2028. Shireen Shivan with the details.
Exim Bank of India gave over $100 million loan to the Fiji Sugar Corporation in 2004 to upgrade the 3 sugar mills in the country. The 15-year loan was to be repaid in 2019. However, upon the request from FSC, the Indian government has agreed to extend the repayment.
The mill upgrade, Madam Speaker, program funded by a loan from Exim Bank of India was not fully completed and did not achieve the desired modernization and efficiency in the 3 mills. Instead, due to poor engineering design, overall project management and supervision of engineering works, the factories were left inefficient.
Syed Qayyum assured the extension of the guarantee period will not impact the government's overall liability. He says the government will monitor the FSC's borrowing program for the next 5 years, and FSC will have to provide quarterly report on the government guarantee utilization.
The extension of this loan is very important for FSC. The extension of this loan will give stability to the new management. We are very happy with the new management. They've got a good team that will bring about a lot of changes, both internal and external.
The motion was supported by opposition members William VOKA and Professor Biman Prasad.
Supported. We like what we're hearing. Let's back to basics. Such as growing more cane, and we believe we'll begin to see some changes positive for the industry.
We really have no option but to support this guarantee, and I hope, as said by the Minister for Economy, that FSC will adhere to the requirements that he has outlined, and that we will see better management and better progress in terms of the infrastructure.
Meanwhile, Fiji Sugar Corporation incurred $53.4 million net loss last year. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority will soon be able to publish the names of companies and persons who deliberately avoid paying taxes. The Parliament yesterday enacted the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service Amendment Bill to allow the name and shame concept. This will empower the FRCS to name companies that have a gross turnover of $1.5 million or more, and if they have made an error in submitting any document or information required by the FRCS. This will also apply to the tax and customs agents. Attorney General Ayasaid Kayum says the law will come into effect as soon as the President assents to it.
We've had to do that because there's still a number of fundamental breaches. A number of taxpayers in Fiji, the chargeable income that they show is actually quite ludicrous compared to the lifestyles they lead.
The National Federation Party has outlined a number of policies they will implement if they are elected to form a government next year. Leader Professor Biman Prasad outlined the policies and responded to questions asked by party supporters during a TALANOA session in Nasinu today. Kelly Vadala reports.
NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad says he will change some decrees currently in place as per the provisions in the 2013 Constitution when elected into power.
It is very, very difficult provision. It requires 75% majority in Parliament, but more difficult is the provision that it also requires 75% majority of in a referendum of all registered voters.
While supporting the current free medicine scheme, Prasad says he will relook at the implementation process so that people can easily access the prescribed medicines.
We will ensure that when they have a card, the eligibility card, they can go to any pharmacy and the pharmacist will dispense the medicine to them, and it will include any prescribed medicine.
Responding to questions by party supporters, another promise made by the party leader was that they will introduce policies that will enable small non-sugar farmers to get loans.
Are there any plans or policies that's been in the pipeline for the party to help farmers, like in providing loans?
That when we come out with the detailed policy on agriculture, we will have a lot of these issues covered. There was a bill that was passed in Parliament only recently and in the opposition, and we supported that bill.
Meanwhile, NFP party leader also continued with his rhetoric on the freedom of media, yet again claiming that the media is not free in the country. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, NFP President Pio Tikondondua has challenged the military to leave the politics to the people. Tikondondua's statement comes after recent comments made by opposition Member of Parliament Parmod Chand, alleging that the military was involved in the 2000 coup. The military had issued a statement following Chand's accusation, setting the record straight.
Please leave the politics to the people. If you want to debate in politics, take off your uniform as I have done and come into the domain where politics is played.
We can't just sit down because of the sacrifices the men made on that particular year. We can't just say nothing to what was said against us. I mean, that's an accusation, a false accusation. Regarding politics, we leave it to the politicians. I'm just rebutting the statement of that is being said against the RFF, and that's my responsibility.
Still to come, international arbitration bill supported by parliamentarians, and government to guarantee FTB short and long-term bonds. Stay with us.
ranavika o tikongona tauna singa toka ando talifaka na wakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serre.
We adora chubuli kurnambili. Iborani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na wakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serre. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na serre.
Both sides in the House supported the International Arbitration Bill in Parliament yesterday. Once enacted, the International Arbitration Bill will incorporate the model law on international commercial arbitration. Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum says the bill was drafted under the New York Convention. Savara Tambor reports.
The Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum spoke at length on how Fiji will benefit from the bill.
This bill will enable Fiji to be recognized as a sovereign state, as an independent destination, and indeed as an independent third party that can provide arbitration facilities for other state parties that they may want to use Fiji as an arbitration destination.
Opposition member Dr. Biman Prasad supported the recommendation, saying it's a progressive bill, while Seme Sakarawaki also showed his support but says it's too early for Fiji.
We can have that in progress process, and later on we probably can set it up, to have Fiji as an attractive place of arbitration. Not only that, to set up investment here in Fiji. For that reason, Madam Speaker, I support the bill.
It will contribute towards making Fiji an attractive destination particularly for foreign investment.
According to Syed Qayyum, this bill will enable Fiji to be recognized as a sovereign state that can act as an independent third party to provide arbitration facilities for other countries who want to use Fiji as an arbitration destination. Sawira Tambua, FBC News.
The government will provide a guarantee of $160 million on the Fiji Development Bank's issuance of short and long-term bonds. This will be effective January next year to December 2020 and includes promissory notes, term deposits and other short-term borrowing. Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum says FDB, in partnership with the government, has assisted over 12,000 micro and small businesses. The motion was agreed to by all the members of Parliament.
Everybody knows it has played a pivotal role in the 1970s. They lent money to different sectors in the manufacturing sector, to the transportation sector, and many of those businesses are still thriving today. In fact, that's how they grew, through FDB's participation, and that is recognized.
A fourth impersonator has been arrested by police with the assistance of the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service. Naveen Chaudhry, an ex-convict from Namandi Heights, impersonated a Revenue and Customs officer and tried to fraud a business for financial gains. The impersonator allegedly called Fiji Minimart yesterday afternoon and told the company they were going to be audited by Revenue and Customs. He further advised the staff the audit can be cancelled if they pay him cash. Chief Executive Viswanath Das says the targeted company called their officers, and in collaboration with police, they framed the impersonator in Lambati. The staff and customers of Niranjans today gathered in MOSESE Suva to carry out their annual cleanup campaign. The campaign, which was initiated by Suzuki in Japan and was introduced in Fiji by Niranjans, aimed at keeping our environment clean. Staff and customers were part of the event that began from My Suva Park and ended at the Suva Bowling Club.
We are grateful for our customers that came out early in the morning to clean the MOSESE foreshore to make our environment more clean.
I actually live in MOSESE, so we live in the seafront. So we are hoping as well to involve all the institutes that live on the seafront to do a campaign a couple of times a year.
Ahead in sports, Fijian Drua secures first win on home ground. And police confident of retaining Sukuna Bowl title. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्क्रीन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Fiji Airways Drua side has won its first home game in the National Rugby Championship. The Senerusi Servakula coach side defeated New South Wales Country Eagles 31-14 at Singatoka's Lawanga Park this afternoon. Meli Tavanga reports.
Coach Senerusi Servakula congratulated his players as they secured their first win on home ground.
We really need this win. It's our first home game. And but still a lot of positive we get out of this game. But we're still learning as we go and a lot of work on for next week's game.
Despite losing star first 5'8" Pedeli November to injury in the early minutes, the home side scored 2 tries in the first spell through halfback Frank Lomani and Eroni Sau to lead 10-7 at halftime. Lomani, who scored 2 tries, says it was the team's bond that brought them the victory.
I like beating one of the finalists last year, especially in front of our home crowd. Like the boys really work hard during the week.
Captain MOSESE VOKA says they're happy for the win as they managed to put a smile on the home crowd's faces.
Tough to the boys for playing their hearts out, not only for the country, to their families and the supporters that came up to watch the game.
New South Wales Country Eagles captain Paddy Ryan says the game results was not what they expected.
Really disappointed with the result today. Thought we were a bit more of a chance when they lost their 10 because he's probably been the best player in the comp the last couple of weeks. But no, they played really well. They rallied as a team, and I thought they were the better side on the day.
The Fijian Drua will host the defending champions Perth Spirit at Suva's ANZ Stadium next Saturday. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Police Force is confident of their chances of retaining the 2017 ANZ Ratasukuna Bowl title when they face the Fiji military forces next month. The challenge was officially launched at the Nasova grounds in Suva yesterday.
The two rivals formally challenging each other, as has been the tradition. Defending champions, Police did not mince words, informing its opponents they plan to retain the Sukuna Bowl.
Last year you took care of Judea and Samaria. The Fiji Police Force took care of Jerusalem. You create defense to win war. We break defense to capture. You take cover sometimes undercover, but we will always undercover and undercover. Because the nature of the work is the nature of our work. It's in our DNA to uncover.
On the other hand, Fiji Military Forces Commander Rear Admiral William Opoto says it will not be an easy ride for the police team.
We're going to face players in the various sports. We're going to dig deep into the tank of talent that God gives them and pour it all out onto the field when we meet.
The Sukuna Bowl challenge between Army and Police will be held on the 20th of next month at Suva's ANZ Stadium. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
After a lapse of 20 years, the revived Congo Waimanu Sevens will kick off early next year. The hosts Waimanu Rugby Sevens received $10,000 this afternoon as they prepare for the tournament. The assistance was given by Rabosamana Senikuradiri, who has links with the village and works for UN Congo in Africa. Meli Tavanga reports.
Waimanu Rugby team spokesperson Joseva Naitenge says it is a mission accomplished.
This time we are coming back in full force. And we are so fortunate not only to able to secure sponsorship, but to have a good-hearted who lives all the way in Congo, Africa as a sponsor. That's something we are so boastful about today.
Coach Asaeli Naitenge says the assistance will help them maintain the welfare of his players.
Looking forward for this seven-side tournament to help build our gym house and everything that they need. Jesse, now traveling allowance for the boys, whether they were going for a seven-side tournament or any place they have to go.
Roivan Leitenge, who spoke on behalf of the sponsor, says they are happy to come on board and assist the team.
I sincerely hope that the money will be utilized wisely, and I wish you all the best in your training and hope that you will listen to the team management and play as a team. You all should work hard to try and secure overseas contract.
The Congo Waimanu Sevens will be held on the 26th to the 27th of January, and the draws for the tournament will be finalized soon. Melitabanga, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Premier League champions Lautoka has been drawn in a tough pool for the OFC Champions League. Lautoka is drawn with 8-time champions Auckland City, Madang FC and AS Venus. VPL runner-up Ba has been grouped with Lai City dwellers, Nalkotan FC of Vanuatu, and a qualifying team yet to be decided. Ba kicks off its campaign on the 10th of February while Lautoka begins on the 24th of March next year. Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Gareth Baber is thankful for the depth he has in his squad. Baber says he is grateful to have so much talent in his squad. He says the 30-member squad is giving him a lot of options.
I didn't know half the players that are here now than when I first came in. Obviously I relied heavily on a group of players. Numbers of them have moved on, and you know that's the necessity of sports teams, is that things change, and my job is to get other players into that squad and develop them. I've seen them through likes of the Skipper Cup and Sevens competitions that have been played here in Fiji.
The All Blacks are bracing for their biggest challenge of the Rugby Championship so far, taking on the resurgent Springboks in today's clash. At the start of the international season, Springboks rugby was at an all-time low. The All Blacks are currently playing Springboks while the Wallabies host Argentina at 10 p.m. Weather today mostly cloudy again about the Maritime Islands and the windward coasts of the main islands with a few passing showers, fine day elsewhere. Looking at the west, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, it was a sunny start to the day, but clouds and wind took over by the afternoon. Brief showers expected later tonight. And up in Vanuatu, mostly fine with humid conditions. At sea, it was southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough seas, moderate southerly swells. And for the tides, its high tide early morning will be at 3:43 with a low tide at 9:43. Sunrise is at 6:01. For tomorrow, it's cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And the outlook for Monday, expect much of the same weather. Recapping the main stories, public urged to stay at home on census night, NFP makes election promises, and Fijian Drua registers second win in NRC. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, is Sitiveni Rambuka a better party leader than Rote Mumukepa? Visit our FBC website to answer. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye for now.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kami na sa mga bola, ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko sila talit, naguraramay na umanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita kini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.